On the news this morning, boundary dispute. Anambra, Abia State reaffirm readiness to restore lasting peace. Urum community in Oka North organizes grand reception for her President General, Sir Felix. Nigeria, Vatican forge stronger alliance against insecurity, extremism. U.S. consulate, FBI seeks stronger EFCC ties on sextortion. Good morning and welcome to the news. My name is Nonye Nwokoye. Now, Monday's sit-at-home has ended in Anambra State. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has fully restored socio-economic and academic activities. With renewed confidence and sustained peace, Anambra is back on the path of progress and prosperity. Be part of the success story. Now, the National Boundary Commission has assured that it will expedite action to resolve the Anambra-Abia interstate boundary dispute, which has lingered for over 20 years. Speaking during a joint meeting on the Anambra-Abia interstate boundary dispute in Oka, the Director General of the National Boundary Commission, Mr. Adamu Adaji, disclosed that both states had reached agreement on 15 kilometers of the 23-kilometer boundary in dispute, saying that efforts are ongoing to resolve the outstanding issues on the remaining 8 kilometers as soon as possible, and urged both states to embrace peace and peaceful coexistence would promote development in the affected communities. Our correspondent, Emmanuel Okonkwo, now reports.
Had persisted for such a long time and assured that the Commission would examine all relevant documents relating to the disputed boundary with a view to reaching a lasting solution.
The resolution is that the two states are desirous of the fact that the boundary should be, as quickly as possible, put physically on ground for people to now know exactly where their limits are. And that the two states will do whatever they can to ensure that there's peaceful coexistence among their border communities. If we resolve that, we'll expedite action in trying to demarcate physically by emplacement of markers on the 15-kilometer stretch that had been agreed upon previously, while we'll intensify efforts to resolve the outstanding 8-kilometer stretch by way of consulting more of the documents and interfacing more with the state boundary committees.
In their separate remarks, the Deputy Governor of Anambra State and Chairman of Anambra State Boundary Committee, Dr. Onyeka Bezim, represented by the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Boundary Matters, Mr. Ekenechukwu Okoye, and the Deputy Governor of Abia State and Chairman of the Abia State Boundary Committee, Engineer Ikechukwu Emetu, represented by the State's Deputy Chief of Staff, Barrister Chijioke Nwankwo, commended the National Boundary Commission for its commitment to resolving disputes and reaffirmed the readiness of both states to cooperate in restoring lasting peace to the affected areas.
It is brotherly interaction that we had in there. This issue has started about 20 years away from now. The two states made their points very clear, their positions clear. It is not a thing of crisis, and then the National Boundary Commission in their wisdom has also given further directives on how it will be resolved and resolved quickly. So I can assure you Anambra State is a very peaceful state. The governor of Anambra State is willing and ready and at all times to maintain peace within Anambra State and our neighbors.
Made remarkable improvements and remarkable progress in seeking to resolve the matters. The only gray area is something that I know that we will also be able to resolve. It, of course, when two parties are jostling for something, there must be dissenting opinion for and against. So it is the responsibility of the MBC and that of the two states to sit down and put in a second review of the only outstanding issue. And I want to assure you that by the grace of God, by the next time we reconvene, this matter will be resolved.
In Oka, I am Emmanuel Okonkwo reporting for ABS.
It was a moment of jubilation and thanksgiving in Urum community, Oka North local government area, as residents organized a grand reception for the President General of the community, Sir Felix Oranye, following his release from prison over the Ochiokwa land dispute between the community and an estate developer. Our correspondent, Emmanuel Okonkwo, again fired this report.
Speaking during the reception, after visiting the villages in the community in the company of jubilant residents, Sir Felix thanked God for his mercy and for sustaining him throughout the period of his incarceration, and expressed satisfaction that the 3 months he spent in the prison over the land disputes were not in vain, as government has intervened in the matter, expressing confidence that justice would prevail.
My joy is that I have entered this community peacefully, and I've entered this place where they say that my foot will not step again. And I believe that God, who has planted me as the President General of Urum community, will give me the grace to finish the work, to finish the assignment, to finish what he has put in my hands in a very good condition, handed over to another person who will carry on where I stop. All I'm begging everybody, let's put our sword on the shirt and come out together to agree on one another so that our community will progress. No community progress in chaos. Community can only progress when there is peace.
The chairman of Urum Elders Association, Nze Louis Umebolu, commended the President General for remaining steadfast throughout the disputes and appealed to the government to expedite action to ensure that justice is served and lasting peace restored in Urum community.
Gaboso n'obodo osaga agbawo anya chọrọ iwe ọjọọ n'obodo anyị iwe ọma ka anyị chọrọ n'obodo Urum ma onye si na iwe ọma batakwa n'obodo Urum iwe ọma malụ onye ahụ n'ezinụlọ ya aka.
Some community members, including the chairman of Akitini Welfare Union, Mr. Dona Deze, the vice chairman of Urum Land Committee, Chief Onyenwe Ndibe, Mrs. Alice Okoye, and Chief Joseph Obiekwenwankwo, thanked God for what they described as his intervention in the matter and urged residents to support the community leadership and avoid actions capable of disrupting the peace of the community.
Ka anyị mma ka so na-ekwu na gọọmenti ka ma na anyị burum na anyị nọ ka gọọmenti dịkwa na anyị ka na-echeta anyị ma na anyị burum ka anyị bụ oge na-agwa anyị agụ ụzọ ọnụ anyị na-akwa akwa nyana ka eme anyị mma anyị chọọ nsogbu ọzọ anyị chọọ dịkwa n'ụkọ ọrọchacha ibe anyị chọọ bụ ka uchi n'Urum anyị n'aha Jizọs.
Meanwhile, the High Court of the Awka Judicial Division, presided over by Honorable Justice Arinze Akabua, on June 23, 2026, restrained the parties involved in the land dispute from selling, alienating, developing, or altering the disputed land, pending the hearing and determination of the applications for an injunction. From Urum in Awka North local government area, I am Emmanuel Okonkwo, reporting for ABS News.
The President General of Opuno Progressive Union, Engineer Luke Egwato, has lauded Anambra State government for taking urgent steps to reclaim Anambra from indiscriminate sand mining and obstruction of waterways threatening the state's environment. Speaking with journalists in Awka, Engineer Egwato observed that continued obstruction of waterways and uncontrolled sand mining are significantly increasing Anambra's susceptibility to flooding and gully erosion. The Opuno President General, who noted that Anambra, being the second smallest state by landmass in Nigeria, continues to lose valuable land to severe environmental degradation occasioned by uncontrolled sand mining and indiscriminate waste disposal into drainage channels. He urged Anambra residents to join hands with the Soludo-led administration in the fight against environmental degradation by reporting illegal sand miners to the appropriate authority and desisting from dumping refuse into drainage channels. Away now from state stories as insecurity and violent extremism threaten social cohesion, Nigeria and the Holy See are strengthening a 50-year diplomatic partnership to advance peace, religious harmony and humanitarian cooperation. Foreign Affairs Minister, Ambassador Bianca Odomego Ojukwu, made the commitment during talks with Archbishop Paul Richard Gallagher, the Holy See's Secretary for Relations with States and International Organizations in Abuja. Discussions focused on security, religious freedom, and the role of faith-based institutions in countering extremism and promoting national unity. Gallagher acknowledged Nigeria's strategic role in Africa and pledged the Holy See's continued cooperation on peace, justice, and reconciliation. Both sides agreed to deepen ties as they mark 50 years of diplomatic relations. The foreigners in the United States Consulate in Lagos and the Federal Bureau of Investigation have called for stronger information sharing with the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission to deepen collaboration in tackling sextortion and other transnational financial crimes. The request was made during a custody visit by the Assistant Law Enforcement Attaché of the United States Consulate, SSA James Smith, and SSA Thomas Pepper of the FBI Cyber Division headquarters to the acting Zonal Director of the EFCC Lagos Zonal Directorate 2, Ace 1 Bawa Kaltungo. This was contained in a statement posted by the Anti-Graft Agency on its X handle yesterday. During the meeting held on Monday, the U.S. officials also commended the EFCC for its investigative effectiveness and sustained efforts in combating sextortion and transnational financial crimes. Speaking during the interactive session, Smith said the visit was aimed at strengthening the existing collaboration between the U.S. Consulate and the Commission, particularly in the area of information sharing. Responding, Kaltungo thanked the delegation for the visit and assured them of the Commission's continued cooperation. And on sports news, the Confederation of African Football has confirmed today the list of clubs that will compete in the qualifying rounds of the 2026-2027 CAF Champions League, with Nigeria to be represented by Enugu Rangers and Rivers United. According to the list released on Monday, posted on its website, CAF disclosed that 24 clubs from 12 countries will enter the competition with 2 representatives each. They include Algeria's Molodia Alger, Angers Saure, Angola's Petrolande and Willete, Cote d'Ivoire's ASEC Mimosa, and San Pedro, the Democratic Republic of Congo's TP Mazembe, and Eagles, Egypt's Zamalek and Pyramids, Mali's Jilobi, and Stade Malien, Morocco's Masfes and Renaissance Beken. Others are South Africa's Orlando Pirates and defending champions Mamelodi Sundowns, Sudan's Al Hilal and Al Merrikh, Tanzania's Young Africans and Simba, and Tunisia's Club African and Esperance. Nigeria's representatives, Enugu Rangers and Rivers United, will begin their campaign in the preliminary round alongside the other clubs from the 2 slot nations. CAF also confirmed that 40 countries will have a single representative in the competition. Among them are Medama of Ghana, Gor Mahia of Kenya, Horoya of Guinea, APR of Rwanda, Vipers of Uganda, Power Dynamos of Zambia, and Scotland of Zimbabwe. The Continental Football Body noted that the representatives of Equatorial Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, and Somalia are yet to be confirmed as their domestic leagues remain unfinished. The current league leaders are 15 de Agosto Lions, Vegetarianso, Equatorial Guinea, Kanchungo, Guinea-Bissau, and Higan, Somalia. According to CAF, the first preliminary round of the competition will be played between September 4 and 6, with the return legs scheduled for September 11 to 13. And with that sports news, we conclude the news this morning. But now remember, you can follow news and programs on ABS from any part of the world via our website on www.absradiotelevision.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at ABS Radio Television. Follow us on our social media handles at ABS Radio Television on Facebook, at ABS Radio TV on Instagram and on X. And here are the main points of the news once again. Boundary dispute. Anambra Abia State has reaffirmed readiness to restore lasting peace. Urum community in Oka North has organized grand reception for her President General Sir Felix. Nigeria, Vatican have forged a stronger alliance against insecurity, extremism. And from the foreign U.S. consulate, FBI are seeking stronger EFCC ties on sextortion. Note, Monday sit at home has ended in Anambra State. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has fully restored socio-economic and academic activities with renewed confidence and sustained peace. Anambra is back on the path of progress and prosperity. Be part of the success story. And that's the news. We thank you so much for watching. My name is Nonya Nwokoye. Good morning and have a blessed day.